Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. Playing game two of our Stottlemyre Memorial. Rest in peace. Stottlemyre was pitching coach for, I'm sure, various teams. The teams that I know of him coaching mostly are the New York teams. And I'm trying to get this a little bit higher up. So excuse me for a little bit of the movement. Trying to adjust the camera, trying to get a better spot for this. There. And then we're going to move it up just a tad. So you're going to have to forgive me for this. And then I'm going to try to angle it a little bit. Angle it down a little bit. There we go. Okay. So you should be able to see everything comfortably. Let me talk to you about 69 Stottlemyre. I mean, the guy had an outstanding career. Now, he never had any, lights out seasons like a Koufax where it was, a 160 ERA and 27 wins. He had some way above average years. For example, in 69, the year that we're replaying right now, he was 20-14 with a 2.82 ERA. He started 39 games, completed 24 of them, pitched 303 innings. He had 113 Ks, not really a strikeout guy. 97 walks, so had some control. I don't know if it was control issues or that he was just hitting the corners a lot or looking to hit the corners a lot and sometimes not getting the call. And he gave up 19 home runs, which is outstanding. It's about a little bit more than 6 home runs per 100 innings. So that is, pretty outstanding. The guy was a class act. I mean, and we're replaying his just to remember him. We're replaying some of his starts using Stottlemyre Advanced. All right, let's get started. Well, we're joining the action in the top of the fourth. It's Roy White against Denny McLain. Now, Denny McLain was he was lights out. 69, he was 24-9 with a 2.80 ERA, 41 starts, pitched 325 innings, 67 walks, 181 strikeouts, and 25 home runs allowed. So he was lights out that season, big season for him. And he's right now the score is 5-1 Detroit. Stottlemyre had a tough first inning where he walked the first 3 batters in a row, and then there was a single, an error, and another single, and they scored 4 runs in that first inning, and they took a 4-0 lead. The Yanks came back in the top of the third, scored a run, and then the Tigers matched them in the bottom of the third with another run. So it's 5-1 right now. All right, you can't see the roll there, so we're going to have to kind of roll in another spot. So that's a 1. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, that's a 1-8, and that's going to be off the batter's card. McLain is a righty, so it's a 1-8. It's going to be a single. So that's a single for Roy White. All right. And this is not going to be pretty because I'm not writing on something that's real stable. All right, 1-4, and it's Joe Pepitone now, the lefty. 1-4, it's going to be off of Pepitone's car. I'm sorry, 1-5, excuse me, 1-5, and that's a ground ball to first base. At first base is Cash. Cash goes to Stanley, back to first. It's a 3-6-3 double play. Two out. Don't know why the cards are kind of warping. It's kind of weird. Never seen that happen before. These are the newest, the newest stock. It's 1969. It's not the classic thicker card that they used to have. It's kind of very thin card, and I let them sit and they kind of warp. I don't know why that's happening. I mean, this has never happened to me before. It's kind of unusual. All right, so it's Denny McLain now is going to face Bill Robinson. Nobody on, 2 out, top of the fourth. And that's going to be a 2-7. That's off Robinson's card, a 2-7, and that's going to be a grounder, comebacker right to McLain. McLain up with it and throws him out for out number 3. So 1 hit, no runs. We go to the bottom of the 4th. All right. Mel Stottlemyre takes the mound, and he's going to start off by pitching to McLean. McLean, we just have the basic side, and that's a 2-9. So that's going to be off of McLean's card. A 2-9 is a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Stottlemyre today. And it's going to be Dick McAuliffe. McAuliffe is the second baseman, and he's 0 for 1 with a walk. He scored a run. It's going to be a 5-10. McAuliffe is a lefty, so that's going to be a 5-10. A 10 is going to be a ground ball, third base X. Third baseman for the Yankees is Mercer. Bobby Mercer is a 4E65. So that's not good. 4E65, that's a 9. That's a 9, and that's going to be 4. What would I say? It was 65? Yeah. Wow. 65, even, I don't know if that's possible. I must have done something wrong there. Doesn't go up that high. Hold on a second. Let me just take a look at his card at third base. So Mercer at third base. At third base, he's an third base 4E65, so it doesn't go up to 65. But I don't see 65 anywhere here. So I don't know what that is. None of these go up to 65. Does anybody know? Anybody out there? Anybody know why it says 65 on his card? I'll show it to you. See, look at that. It says third base 4E65. How is that possible? Third base doesn't go up to 65. Maybe 35? Or more. Oh, wait, it says, I'm sorry. It says 37 or more. Okay, so we're going to have to roll 2d6. That's a 9. That's a 9, and that's going to be a 1-base error. A 1-base error, so McAuliffe is on thanks to the drop ball by Bobby Mercer playing third base. Now, I know Mercer more as a center fielder for the Yankees. Don't remember him being a third baseman. I guess that was earlier than when I was kind of around watching ball and all that sort of thing. So anyway, in the bottom of the 4th, there's 1 out, and McAuliffe reaches on an error by Bobby Mercer, who's playing third base here. Not his primary position. And next is going to be Mickey Stanley. Mickey Stanley, the shortstop, also not a real gold glove guy. He's a 4 as well, and he's going to bat. So here's the pitch from Stottlemyre. It's a 3-5, and that's going to be ball 4. That's a walk. So runners on first and second now with 1 out. And that's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 walks, and that's the 4th walk of the game allowed by Stottlemyre. He did give up almost 100 walks in 300 innings. Whereas Danny McLean gave up only about 70 in 325 innings. All right, so first and second, 1 out, and it's Al Kaline. Al Kaline is 0 for 1. He walked in that first inning. He's the right fielder. He's a righty. I'm getting to know all these players. I mean, I know of them, but just playing with them a little bit and looking at their seasons and so on. I've replayed '69 season a few times, but mostly with the Mets and Tom Seaver, and in that National League. So that's a 1-8 against a righty. It's going to be a fly ball center field, and it says B. And that's a B tells me that runner on third scores. Runner on third scores. Nobody on third. So that's a fly out. That's out number 2. And next is going to be Cash. This is a pitch from Stottlemyre. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. Stottlemyre should be out of the inning right now. There was an error in this inning, and it's a 3-7. Norm Cash. Cash is singled. He's got a 2-run single in the first inning, and that's a 3-7. And that's could be trouble, but it isn't. He chops down right at second baseman Clark, and Clark flips to first for out number 3. So that's no hits, no runs. 2 men left on base. And we go to the top of the 5th. A little bit of a slower moving game than what I'm used to. Kind of fumbling a bit, not much space to move around. Okay, and I take he goes away, and now it's Denny McLean. He's going to face the bottom of the order, Gibbs, Michael, and Stottlemyre. Gibbs, Michael, and Stottlemyre. Here's the pitch from Denny McLean to Jake Gibbs. Jake Gibbs he's doubled today and scored a run. This is his second at bat, so he's 1 for 1. That's 4-7. He's a lefty. A 4-7. It's a strikeout. And that's McLean's first strikeout. These guys are not real big strikeout guys during this time. It's not like modern days where you see a lot of strikeouts. Okay, next one is Gene Michael, shortstop. Tommy Tresh was still on the Yankees for a while. I had to pull him out of, I believe it was Detroit. He had been traded to Detroit, so he was sitting in the Detroit locker room. And for me to get the beginning of the season started with the Yankees, I had to pull Tommy Tresh's card and bring him back to the Yankees. And that's going to be a 112. So that's going to be off Michael's card, a 112, and that's going to be a walk. So ball 4. On at first is Michael, and we're in the 5th inning. So we're going to get a bunt. We're going to get a bunt here, and Stottlemyre's a B bunter, and that's a 5. That's going to be a successful bunt. I'll tell you right now. Sacrifice 5 is batters thrown out by pitcher. So it's going to be a sacrifice. And that's out number 2. That's 1-4. He moves. Michael goes to second base now. And it's going to be Horace Clark. Top of the 5th. It's 5-1 ball game. And that's a 2-7. It's going to be off Clark's card. A 2-7. McLean's a righty. And that's going to be a single split die. It's a split die. And I don't know why it doesn't have the, oh, wait a second, oh, I see. Well, I don't know why it doesn't have the little the little triangle, the empty triangle. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just says single here, because usually when you have to roll a split die, it tells you that. I think that's what the triangle indicates, but whatever. Okay, so what did we say? It was 2-7? 2-7 is a single. Gonna see, we're gonna roll. Let's see. It's a 12. 1-10 was a single. That's gonna be a line out to second base, and that's gonna be out number 3. So the Yanks strand. They strand Gene Michael at second base, and we go to the bottom of the 5th now. All right, Stottlemyre. Mel Stottlemyre. He's going to face Willie Horton, Northrup, Jim Northrup, and Bill Freehan. Bill Freehan. Okay, let's see what happens here. All right. Here's the pitch from Stottlemyre. Now, Horton is 1 for 2. He's doubled, scored a run. And that's a 1-3. A 1-3 is a diamond, fly ball right field B. I don't remember what that diamond means. Ballpark home run. Oh, okay, that's what it is. So ballpark home run. So Willie Horton's a righty. We're going to look at, let's look at Detroit here. And he's a righty. We're going to go over here. It's a home run. 1 to 14 is a home run for a righty. So let's see what we roll. 1 to 14 is a home run for a righty. Willie Horton. Going to push this out of the way. And that ball is driven deep to left field. Back goes the left fielder, White, to the track. And he looks up, that's out of here. Home run for Willie Horton leading off the 5th inning. So I know that Stottlemyre wishes he had that pitch back. But it ain't going to happen. All right, 6-1 Yankees. So Stottlemyre having a tough game here. And it's Jim Northrup. Northrup is 0 for 2. And that's a 5-2. It's going to be off the pitcher's card. He's a lefty batter. 5-2 is going to be a single, 1 to 18. So most likely it's a single. It's a 16 line drive base hit single. So Northrup singles. Not really a base stealer, so we don't have to. And 6-1, down 6-1, or leading 6-1. I'm not going to try it right now. Don't want to get a brawl going. And it's Bill Freehand. And that's a 4-4. A 4-4 is a fly ball center field single on the ballpark chart. So we go to Detroit. And again, a righty is a 1 to 6 is going to be a single. So let's see what happens. And that's an 11. That's going to be lined out to the shortstop. So it's an L6, out number 1. And next is Wirt. Don Wirt, the third baseman. Pitch from Stottlemyre. It's 3-6. 3-6 is pop-up, and that's to the right side. Second baseman calls for it. Clark puts it away for out number 2. And now we have Denny McLain. Denny McLain is a 2 batter. And that's a 4. He's a righty. Denny McLain bats righty, so it's a 4-12. And that's going to be a single, 1 to 4 single. 18, it's lined out to short. Caught by the shortstop, Michael. L6, and that's the 3rd out. So we go to the top of the 6th inning. It's a 6-1 Detroit lead. Detroit had 2 hits in that inning, had 1 run, the home run by Willie Horton. And they lead it by a score of 6-1. It's going to be Kenny, Mercer, and White. Kenny, Mercer, and White in the top of the 6th inning. All right, so let's do that. Your movements need to be very calculated when we got this this game going on here in the way where we've got the cameras set up. Any false move knocks over the whole setup here. So you can't really even breathe too much. So here's the pitch from McLain. And Jerry Kenny, left-handed hitting, playing center field today, center fielder. He's 0 for 1. He's walked in flight out. And that's a 2-11. A 2-11 is a ground ball to the first baseman. Cash takes it himself, out number 1. And it's Bobby Mercer. Mercer is 0 for 2. And that's a 3-9. 3-9 is going to be a fly ball to right. And the I think I call shortstop was anyway, fly ball to right field. Right fielder is Kaline. Makes the catch, out number 2. And it's Roy White now. And that's a 211. 211 is going to be a single. And we have to ignore that. We have to look at the Roy White is batting lefty. Single in Detroit. A lefty single in Detroit is a 1-6. And that's a 3. It's a base hit for Roy White. So a 2-out single for Roy White. It's Joe Pepitone. And that's a 2-3. A 2-3 is again an opportunity by a lefty in Detroit. It's going to be a 1-6 is a single. Otherwise, it's a line and caught by the second baseman. So he hit it right on the nose, but right at the Detroit second baseman, McAuliffe, for out number 3. So that's 1 hit, no runs. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Oh boy, so it's a tough one for Mel Stottlemyre. He did lose 14 games, so he's definitely gonna. The Yankees weren't a very good squad. They were. Here's I have a fancy envelope for them. They were 81-80 in 5th place in '69. The Tigers were much better. They were 2nd place team at 90-72. So, hence you have the score, right? 6-1, Detroit. All right, let's see. It's a 3-11. A 3-11. That's a ground ball to the first baseman, Pepitone. It's a 3 unassisted, 1 out. Next is Stanley, Mickey Stanley. That's a 4-8. And that's going to be off Stottlemyre's card. Stanley's a righty. 4-8 is a ground ball to the shortstop. And Michael up with it across the diamond to Pepitone, 2 out. And Kaline, it's a 2-4. That's a fly ball deep to right field. And back goes the right fielder Robinson. Makes the catch for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom of the 6th. And no runs, no hits. Go to the top of the 7th now. It's going to be Robinson, Gibbs, and Michael. Denny McLain against Bill Robinson. Bill Robinson eventually goes to the Pirates, and I think he plays there for a while. Becomes a pretty decent ball player. And it's Bill Robinson now. I think this is the right Bill Robinson. He plays the outfield primarily. Okay, here's the pitch from McLain, and it's a 5. So it's going to be off McLain's card against a righty. 5-4. 5-4 is a catcher X. Let's see what that's all about. Catcher X is a 20. Freehand is a 2E3. A 2E3. Let's see what that is all about. What did we roll? We rolled a 20. So that's going to be a foul out to the catcher. So 1 away. F2. Not profanity, guys. Don't let your brain go there. All right, Gibbs, left-hander. That's a 6 off the left side here of Denny's card. 6-11. That takes us to a fly ball, high fly ball to right field. And that's out number 2. Right fielder Kaline puts it away. And next is G. Michael. And that's a 3-6 off Michael's card, a 3-6. And that's going to be a ground ball, hard hit, right at the shortstop. Stanley rifles it across the diamond for out number 3. There we go. Bottom of the 7th now. probably the last we'll see of Stottlemyre in this game. Last inning, so let's enjoy it. Norm Cash, Willie Horton, and Jim Northrup. He had a 1-2-3 inning. He's actually retired the last 6 in a row. So now that I've said it, I probably jinxed him. All right, rest in peace, Mel Stottlemyre. Norm Cash, 110, so it's going to be off of Cash's card, and that's a foul out to the catcher. And that gives back to the screen and makes the catch. Did they have screens back then? All right. Willie Horton. Willie Horton homered his last time at bat. He's 2 for 3. In the first inning, he reached on an error. And that's a 4-12. And Horton is a righty. A 4-12 is going to be a split die, single 1-4. And we rolled an 8. So that's going to be lined and caught by the shortstop. So that's 8 in a row. 8 in a row, and it's Jim Northrup who's singled. He's 1 for 3. Singled in the bottom of the 5th. And that's a 4-11. He's a lefty, so that's a 4-11. That's a walk, ball 4. Ball 4, and it's Bill Freehand. And that's a 2-7. A 2-7 is a walk. That's 6 walks for Stottlemyre. And I just want to get one more out, and we're going to call it because we're really doing this for Stottlemyre. And 6-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs, runs on first and second. If he doesn't get this guy out, we're going to have to pull him, and that'll be it. And that's a 4-9. A 4 is off Stottlemyre's car. A 4-9 is a ground ball X. Our shortstop, Michael, is a 3. So see what kind of roll. It's a 19, so that's going to be an out. Shortstop 19 on a 3 is a ground ball A. So it's a 6-4. We'll fielder's choice, a force out, if you will. 6-4. And that's out number 1, 2, out number 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Giving up 6 runs so far. You know what, we're gonna well, he's batting now, and at this point we have to pinch hit for him. So I don't know who we're gonna get here to pinch hit, but you know what? Let's take a look at the Yankee squad. John Ellis, Thurman Munson. Oh man, Thurman Munson. I'm going to do a memorial to Thurman Munson, the last 10 games before his plane crash in Ohio. So we're going to bring in Thurman Munson to pinch hit for Stottlemyre. Wow, that brings back a lot of memories. Munson, pinch hitter. See if the Yanks can get something going here. So let's sit this whole thing up. I just threw him on the table. Never followed through with what I was doing. So we're going to pull the pitcher's card and put Munson in there. He's a right-handed batter. Now Munson in '69 had 86 at bats, 1 double, 2 triples, 1 home run, 256 batting average. He becomes the captain of the Yankees and an all-star catcher for many, many years. Tremendous ball player, clutch ball player. And he's going to bat here against Denny McLain. That's a 3 off Munson's card, a 3-2, and that's going to be a split die 1-11 single. Let's get a 1-11 for Thurman Munson, and we do. It's a 3. It's a line drive base hit for Thurman Munson. He's on first to start off the top of the 8th, pinch hitting for Stottlemyre. And Stottlemyre at the top of the steps clapping for Thurman Munson. And it's going to be Horace Clark now. It's going A 2-8 off Clark. A 2-8 is a ground ball shortstop, and that's Stanley. He flips to the second baseman. McAuliffe back to first, not in time. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. Clark beats it, has good speed. 6-4. Munson is out on the force, and it's Kenny. Jerry Kenny, left-handed batting center fielder for the Yanks. And that's a 3-11. A 3-11 is going to be a single, a ballpark single for a lefty. That's a 1-6. We already have that memorized. And it's a 9, so that's lined, and he's a lefty, line 4. L4, caught by the second baseman, McAuliffe, for out number 2. And then it's going to be Bobby Mercer. And that's a 3-4. And that's off Mercer's card. A 3-4 is also, we're looking at 1-6. It's a ballpark single. 1-6, and that's a 6 base hit. And let's see where that is. What did I do with that paper? All right. Detroit 1-6, lefty. And runners advance 1 base. So Clark stops at second base, and that's Mercer's first hit of the game. First and second now, with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. And it's going to be Roy White, the cleanup hitter. Didn't know he had that kind of presence to be a cleanup hitter. He had 30 doubles and 5 triples and 7 home runs. So he's been batting cleanup for the 2 starts that I've played so far. This is the second start of the season. Then Mel Stottlemyre won the first game against the Senators. And that's a 4-6 against a switch hitting Roy White. He's batting from the left side against the righty. So it's going to be a 4 and then a 6. It's going to be a fly ball lifted to right field. And Kaline, to his left, makes the catch for out number 3. And the Yanks, with 2 hits, they leave 2 and score none. And at the end of 7.5, it's 6-1 Detroit. We're going to have a new pitcher now for the Yanks. Not going to be Stottlemyre. He's out. He's out of there. And we're going to take a quick peek at see who it's going to be. Somebody who had a lot of innings, so I know they were around. 28 innings pitched for him, relief. Batson, 221, he was around. But he's a starter as well. Lindy McDaniel, relief, pitched 54. 84 innings pitched. Lindy McDaniel, lefty. So we have any McAuliffe and Stanley. Stanley's a righty, so McAuliffe is, I believe, is a lefty. Let's double check. Yeah, he is a lefty. So we have a lefty, a righty. So let's see if we got a righty coming in here. Bill Burback. Got a Jack Aker. He's relief. He's a right-hander, I believe. Let's double check that. He's a right-hander, and he pitched plenty of innings, so he's probably around. So we're going to bring him in to pitch Jack Aker. Let's look at his stats. 8-8 with a 3.17 ERA. It's no 14 saves. I'm wondering if he's the closer. Hold on a second. I want to bring in a closer right now in this type of game. Getting to know this team. Don't really know them all that well. Mike Kekich is another one. 13 starts, 105 innings. Johnson, guy named Ken Johnson, relief, 26 innings. We went through him. Hamilton is relief. We're going to bring, let's see, he's a lefty. Lindy McDaniel, a righty. You know what? I thought he was, for some reason, I thought he was a lefty. I guess the Lindy part All right, so Lindy McDaniel, he's a right-hander, and he's going to come in. His stats are 5 and 6, 3.55 ERA, 5 saves. So he's definitely not the closer. The closer I remember for the Yankees is going to be Sparky Lyle, Goose Gossage. Those are the main guys that I remember being the closers for the Yankees in the 70s. And then later, of course, Mariano Rivera. So it's going to be McDaniel. Make sure he's, yep. All right. So McDaniel's going to be in there. And he's going to be red. I color him in red. As you can see, I use a colored pencil and I color in wherever my relief pitchers come in. He's going to be facing McLean. And that's a 6. McLean bats right-handed, so it's a 6-8. A 6-8 is a strikeout. And next is going to be McAuliffe. Dick McAuliffe, a lefty. And that's going to be a 6. 6. A 6-6 is a single to right field. That's the first hit from McAuliffe. He's 1 for 4 now. He walked in that first inning and scored a run. Mickey Stanley. Here's the pitch from McDaniel. It's a 1-9. A 1-9. It's going to be a ground ball, second base. Over to first. McAuliffe moves to second. And it's Al Kaline. Kaline's 0 for 3. Runner on second, 2 out, and that's a 2-4. A 2-4 is a fly ball lifted to right field. And the Yankee right fielder Robinson puts it away for out number 3. So the Tigers leave 1, the single by McAuliffe. And after 8, it's 6-1 Tigers. We go to the top of the 9th for the Yanks. Last licks, if you will. Last licks for the Yankees. And Denny McLain going for a complete game. Had plenty of complete games. Plenty. He had 41 starts. Not sure exactly. I didn't write down how many complete games he had. I should have. But he did have a 24-9 record with a 2.80 ERA. So both pitchers had a 2.80 ERA. So here's the pitch from Denny McLain to Roy White. Roy White is 2 for 4 today. He's got 2 singles. And it's Joe Pepitone. Joe Pepitone, the batter. Lefty Joe Pepitone. And Pepitone is 0 for 3. And that's a 4-7. A 4-7 is a strikeout. Well, actually, it's his 9th inning. And in this 9th inning, I don't remember how this works. But I believe he has to give up consecutive hits or something to that effect, and that's not going to happen here. So I'm not going to play that. 4-7, it's a strikeout. So I guess if he had given up a lot of hits starting in this inning, that would be a hit. If he had allowed 3 consecutive base runners, for example, in 1 inning, or he allowed 4 runners in 2 innings, something to that effect. After he reaches his innings, then he would that little bullet would become a hit. But here it's a strikeout, and it's strikeout number 2 in the game. Wow, strikeout number 2. So Pepitone down, swinging for the fences. Pepitone. And next is going to be Bill Robinson. Bill Robinson is 0 for 3. And that's a 4-4. And a 4-4, that's off of McLean's card. A 4-4, it's a potential park single. And that's an 8. That's line to the shortstop for out number 2. And next is going to be Jake Gibbs. Jake Gibbs is 1 for 3 today. He doubled and scored a run in the third inning. 6-1 ball game right here. The Yankees are down to their last out. Denny McLain beat Mel Stottlemyre tonight, unless there's a miracle that goes on. And that's going to be a 4-3. A 4-3 against Gibbs, who's a lefty. 4-3 is going to be a fly ball, right field X. Now the right fielder is K-Line, who's a 2E10. 2E10, and that's a 3. That should be an out. That should be an out. A 3 is a single, so it drops in there. So K-Line wasn't able to get to it, and Yanks have a 2-out single, keeping their hopes alive, if you will. This will be Gene Michael, shortstop for the Yanks. And that's a 6. Michael is a switch hitter, so he's batting from the left side against the righty McLain. That's a 6-6, and that's a 1-7 double. And it's a 12, and that's a deep drive in the gap, and there's K-Line. Makes up for the single that he let drop in front of him with a nice running catch to end the game. So that's all she wrote for Stottlemyre's second start against Detroit. He's bested by Denny McLain, the 24-game winner. So you have two 20-game winners going at each other here. One McLain with 24 wins, and Stottlemyre with 20 wins. And Denny McLain comes out on top by a score of 6-1. And that's all she wrote for April 12th, 1969 at Detroit. I'm not sure what the third game is, but we'll get it going and try to put his stats. So Stottlemyre now is 1 win and 1 loss for the season. So thanks for checking this out, checking out the Mel Stottlemyre Memorial, and rest in peace, Mel. We'll miss you forever. Take care. Take care, folks.